Okay, so you've learned the basics of rhythm, the basics of where to put your hands on the piano, how to read music. You're ready to play your first piece. Well, today your piano teacher Tim has you covered, of course, as always, because today I'm going to be teaching you your first piece, All Clair De La Lune. At least I think that's how it's pronounced, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to teach you how to play it. Okay, so when learning your first piece, the first thing you want to do is go over the notes. Probably, especially as a beginner piano player, the notes is probably where you're going to be spending most of your time figuring things out. So we're just going to go through the right hand notes. Now, here's the thing. A lot of students ask me, should I be writing in notes as a beginner? You can write in a few of the notes. Please do not write in all of them. What will happen is eventually you'll become dependent on writing in the notes, and you won't be reading them in real time. So I don't recommend you write in a note unless it's a note that you're messing up a million times in a row. But here we go. So we got our first note. Remember that this first note here in our right hand, they say finger one, right? You see that one there on the first measure? And we got C there on its ledger line all on its own. So you got three of those. And then you got D here. And then first line of the treble clef, which is E. And then back down to D, and then C, E, D, D, C. So we're basically, the reason I chose this song as your first one, or this piece rather, is that it really just uses three different notes, C, D, and E. So that does make your life a little bit easier. Cool thing about the second line is it's exactly the same. I mean, I will play through this whole thing, but no need to go over the notes there. And then the third line is probably the only tricky part that you're going to find, because as you can see from like this first measure, which is on top there, that you just have the 4 Ds with your right hand. And then, oh no, we have a left hand note, two of them actually, in that second measure right there. And if you notice, it has a 3 next to it, right? So finger 3 with your left hand, or actually any hand, is the middle finger. And you should know, at least if you've been watching the lesson so far, that that top line is A. So you're going to hit A. We'll go over the rhythm next, so no need to worry about that yet. And then your right hand's going to come in and hit. The weird thing about this piece is your hand position. Like once you play the right hand part, once you play the left hand part, you'll realize that your hand position is a little awkward because you're going to be sharing C with your thumbs here and then just laying out the rest of your notes. So to figure out your hand position, just look at like where basically the notes they want you to play with your right hand, the fingers, and then your left hand, and then just kind of see where your hands plot from there. But anyway, in this third measure here, you got D, C, and then it just goes B, A, G, because, well, you can write in the notes there if you want. That's probably the hardest part because you have the space below the staff. And if you think about it, the first line of the treble clef's E, so one note down's D. You got middle C, which makes perfect sense. We've talked about that so many times before. And then we're just continuing to go down here to G. And then great news. What's the great news? Well, the last line of the piece is same as the first two lines, which is another reason I chose this piece as your first one, because 3 of the lines are actually exactly the same. It's really, I think, that third line that's going to give you any trouble at all.
Recognize the trouble and then take steps to correct it.
Okay, so the next part after you go through the notes is to go through the rhythms. Good thing about this piece is you only have the types of rhythms we talked about so far. So you have your quarter notes, each getting just 1 count each. And then your half notes getting 2 each. So if you're in 4/4 time signature, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then continuing with the quarter notes is 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to be careful this whole note because you're going to hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you have the notes learned, you should be going through counting each of these. The good thing is that the rhythms are all the same between lines 1, lines 2, lines 3, and lines 4. So again, this is why I chose this one, because it's all, once you get the first line, you pretty much got the rest of it. Now, the question I want to ask you, or that I get actually asked all the time, should you be writing in the numbers on how to count? Well, in the beginning, I actually kind of recommend you do, just to make sure that you're lining each beat up with the correct number beat in that measure. So you don't want to be writing in your notes for the most part, unless it's something you mess up all the time, but you do want to be writing in your counting, unless you just really, really have a good understanding and you're not making any mistakes. But I actually do recommend in the beginning to write down your counting. Okay, now I'm going to play, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first 2 lines beginning to end, and then the second 2 lines beginning to end. So if I'm playing this for the first time ever, you know, first thing I got to do, obviously sit up straight at the piano, make sure I'm a comfortable distance from the piano, but also, what is my starting hand position? Well, I mentioned earlier that in the first measure, there's that number 1 there, which is your thumb, always thumbs up for number 1, and you're going to place that on C. And there you go. You don't have to move your hand at all during the piece. So these beginner pieces, you don't really have to worry about moving around. You're just, boom, once you're there, you're good to go. So here you go. I'm going to play the first 2 lines. All right, on to line 3 and 4. Now, one thing I didn't do, and I didn't do this because I just wanted to show you the right hand part, but in general, so see how these first 2 lines, there's no left hand at all? You don't have to worry about the left hand. Even though that's the case, I would still start out playing the piece with your thumbs on C there, just because once you get to this 3rd line, you'll be ready to go. You won't have to be like, oh wait, no, I got my left hand up there. So that's just a little tip for you. So now I'm going to play the last 2 lines beginning to end. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed playing your first piece. Of course, I'm going to include a link to it down in the description so you can play it on your own. You may have to watch this lesson a couple of times just to make sure you get every little bit and piece. But let me know how you did with this piece in the comments. I would really like to know.
Now let's see if we can help you.
And of course, you're going to want to learn more about how to play piano. And once that lesson is ready in this series, I'm going to put it right there. Make sure you click on that. So it's been your piano teacher, Tim, here. Thank you so much for coming today and listening and learning. And I'll see you, yes you, in the next lesson.